Tomorrow, something extraordinary happens in the solar system, and almost no one is talking about it. As you read these words, a Manhattan-sized object called 3I Atlas is just millions of kilometers away from completing its most critical maneuver, passing behind the Sun, hidden from all Earth telescopes exactly when it reaches perihelion, the closest point to our star. And according to Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, if this object isn't what we think, if it's truly an alien mothership, as he suggests, tomorrow would be the perfect moment to release exploratory probes without anyone on Earth noticing. Before we dive into this mystery that could change everything we know about interstellar visitors, subscribe and hit the bell icon, because what comes next you won't want to miss. 3I Atlas was discovered on July 1st, 2025, by the Atlas telescope in Chile, traveling at an incredible 130,000 miles per hour coming from interstellar space. It's only the third confirmed object from outside our solar system to visit us, after Oumuamua in 2017 and Comet Borisov in 2019. But unlike its predecessors, 3I Atlas has characteristics that made Avi Loeb raise a bold hypothesis. This object could be alien technology, possibly a mothership designed to explore stellar systems. The orbit of 3I Atlas is almost perfectly aligned with the ecliptic plane, where planets orbit, with only 5 degrees of inclination, something statistically improbable for an object coming from a random direction in interstellar space. This trajectory allowed it to pass dangerously close to Mars on October 3rd at just 18 million miles. Then will approach Venus and eventually Jupiter. If you think that's strange, just wait for what comes next. And this is where things get really weird. Tomorrow, October 29th, 2025, at 11:47 UTC, 3I Atlas reaches its perihelion at 126 million miles from the Sun, moving at an impressive 42 miles per second. But here's the crucial detail. Since October 21st, the object has been in solar conjunction, hidden behind the Sun from Earth's perspective, making it completely unobservable by terrestrial telescopes, precisely during its most active moment. It's as if someone had planned this trajectory to guarantee total privacy during the mission's most critical phase. Loeb isn't alone in finding this peculiar. In a scientific paper titled, "Is 3I Atlas Alien Technology?" The cosmic coincidence using the probability of 3I Atlas passing so close to Venus, Mars, and Jupiter simultaneously is less than 0.05%. Comment below what you think. Cosmic coincidence, or something more deliberate? Now enters the Oberth effect, one of the most powerful maneuvers in astrodynamics. This effect describes how a spacecraft can gain or lose orbital energy extremely efficiently by firing its engines at the point of highest velocity, usually at perihelion, the lowest and fastest point of its orbit. It's as if the fuel carries more mechanical energy when the craft is moving rapidly deep in a star's gravitational well. The mathematics is fascinating. The energy gain is proportional to the craft's velocity multiplied by the velocity change. So burning fuel at 42 miles per second, as 3I Atlas will be doing tomorrow, produces a much greater impulse than the same burn in interstellar space. If you wanted to break an interstellar craft and capture it into solar orbit, or accelerate to escape quickly after collecting data, perihelion would be the ideal moment to perform this maneuver, especially if you were hidden behind the Sun. And what if I told you this story isn't over yet? Loeb calls this a solar Oberth reverse maneuver, a high-efficiency strategy for an interstellar spacecraft to break and remain bound to the Sun, or release smaller payloads with precise impulses. If 3I Atlas is indeed a mothership, as the hypothesis suggests, Tomorrow would be the perfect moment to release smaller exploratory probes, taking advantage of solar gravity to catapult them toward the inner planets, especially Earth. These mini-probes could use the same Oberth effect principle to gain additional velocity for free from solar gravity, reaching their targets with minimal energy consumption. Loeb's paper calculates that an optimized Earth intercept would require arrival in late November or early December 2025, with a specific non-gravitational acceleration that would indicate intention to rendezvous with our planet. The window of opportunity begins exactly tomorrow, when 3I Atlas is hidden at its point of maximum velocity and closest to the Sun. Hit the like button if you love this kind of mystery. But what really leaves scientists puzzled are the 8 documented anomalies of 3I Atlas that earned the object a ranking of 4 on the Loeb scale, a metric created to evaluate how unusual an interstellar object truly is. First anomaly: the entry velocity of 44 kilometers per second, faster than Oumuamua and Borisov. Second, the near-perfect orbital alignment with the ecliptic, as if it knew the neighborhood. Third, multiple approaches to rocky planets and gas giants in a single passage. Fourth, controversial claims that 3I Atlas lacks a traditional cometary tail, although recent images show emerging activity. Fifth, surprising detection of nickel emission in the coma, a phenomenon rarely observed in solar system comets, and raising questions about unusual composition or exotic outgassing processes. Sixth, the reddish spectral composition similar to Kuiper belt objects, yet behaving like an active comet. Seventh, dramatic and rapid brightness variations that cannot be explained solely by stellar spots or rotation. And eighth, the perfect timing of solar conjunction during perihelion, guaranteeing total invisibility from Earth during the most critical phase. If it were an intelligent signal, how would you react? The mothership concept isn't abstract science fiction. It's a logical engineering strategy for interstellar exploration. Sending one large craft carrying multiple smaller probes allows an advanced civilization to map an entire solar system efficiently, distributing small observers to different targets while the main craft maintains a stable trajectory. It's exactly what we do with our space missions. Cassini released the Huygens probe to Titan. The Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter serves as a relay for surface rovers. The difference is the scale and distance traveled. If 3I Atlas were indeed artificial, its estimated size of 3 to 11 kilometers in diameter would be consistent with a mothership capable of transporting dozens or hundreds of smaller probes. And the release timing would be critical. Doing it during perihelion, behind the Sun, while moving at 42 miles per second, would maximize the gravitational impulse of the mini-probes while minimizing chances of detection by Earth observers. What they discovered next changes everything. Loeb isn't categorically claiming that 3I Atlas is alien. He's doing what scientists should do, considering all hypotheses, including the most unlikely ones, and proposing observational tests. He calls this a pedagogical exercise, exploring what would be necessary to distinguish a natural object from an artificial one with available tools and data. The mothership hypothesis makes specific, testable predictions. If 3I Atlas is artificial, it should follow its original gravitational trajectory and eventually exit the solar system without significant deviations, unless it executes detectable propulsive maneuvers. Alternatively, it could release smaller objects that would follow different trajectories from the main craft. Space telescopes and probes, like ESA's JUICE and NASA's Juno, which aren't blocked by the Sun, are scheduled to observe 3I Atlas after perihelion, searching for exactly this type of anomalous behavior. Spacecraft at Mars, including the ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter and Mars Express, already captured images of the object during its October approach. Subscribe to follow how this story unfolds. The reference to the dark forest, a resolution to the Fermi paradox, adds a disturbing layer to the hypothesis. This theory, popularized by science fiction author Liu Cixin, suggests the universe is full of silent civilizations because revealing their location is dangerous. Cosmic predators could be lurking. If 3I Atlas were a reconnaissance probe from a civilization following this logic, it would be designed to operate stealthily, observing without being noticed, collecting data about our technological capability before deciding the next step. Loeb's paper explores two scenarios, one where intentions are entirely benevolent, and another where they're malevolent. This is the essence of risk analysis. It's not about paranoia, it's about preparation. In fact, rapid flyby missions from Earth would require velocity changes exceeding 15 miles per second, which is beyond current chemical propulsion capabilities. Mars-based probes would have a better chance, with delta V of approximately 3 miles per second, to reach 3I Atlas in October. But that window has already passed. Do you believe this can be coincidence? So what do we really know about 3I Atlas based on solid scientific evidence? Spectroscopic observations confirm it's an active comet, releasing carbon dioxide as the main activity driver, along with water vapor, cyanogen, and nickel gas in unusual quantities. The water production rate measured in August 2025 was 1.36 times 10 to the 27th power molecules per second, equivalent to 88 pounds per second, at a heliocentric distance of 2.9 astronomical units, where water ice sublimation is normally inefficient. This implies at least 8% of the surface is active, a larger fraction than most solar system comets, suggesting 3I Atlas may be exceptionally volatile or geologically young. Images reveal a reddish dusty coma with spectral slope of approximately 19% per 100 nanometers in the visible range, similar to D-type asteroids and trans-Neptunian objects. Polarimetry shows an unprecedented deep and narrow negative polarization branch among comets and asteroids, reaching a minimum of -2.7% at 7 degrees phase angle, possibly indicating coated ice grains. The comet's morphology evolved from a sunward dust fan in July to a dominant anti-solar tail in September, reflecting large grain size and slow ejection of dust particles. And this is just the beginning. But even with all this data, 3I Atlas continues to defy simple explanations. The detection of atomic nickel emission lines, while iron remains undetected, is particularly intriguing and may imply efficient release of gas-phase nickel through exotic chemical channels, such as metal carbonyl formation or photostimulated desorption of metallated organics. The nickel production rate follows a steep heliocentric distance scaling, proportional to R to the -8.43 power, and cyanogen production scales as R to the -9.38 power, behavior inconsistent with direct sublimation of canonical metal phases and favoring low activation energy release mechanisms from dust. Integral field spectroscopy with the Keck Cosmic Web Imager revealed radial profiles of nickel and cyanogen emission, with nickel more centrally concentrated, characteristic scale length of 370 miles versus 522 miles for cyanogen, supporting hypotheses involving easily dissociated species like metal carbonyls or polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon molecules bound to metals. Photos captured during September's blood moon eclipse showed that 3I Atlas may be turning bright green as it approaches the sun, an unexpected transformation possibly resulting from increased solar radiation causing more ice, gas, and dust to be expelled from its nucleus. Comment below what you think about this. And what about the spacecraft that could witness 3I Atlas during its perihelion? NASA's Europa Clipper and ESA's Hera are predicted to potentially cross 3I Atlas's ion tail between October 25th and November 6, 2025, offering the opportunity to detect signatures of an interstellar comet by direct immersion. Magnetic draping structures associated with the comet may also be identifiable. Characteristic changes in the solar wind caused by interaction with cometary material. NASA's Psyche spacecraft passed 302 astronomical units from 3I Atlas on September 4th, JUICE probe on November 4th, and even distant Lucy may cross residual cometary material. These in situ observations are invaluable because they directly analyze the chemical and isotopic composition of interstellar material, something impossible to do with ground-based telescopes alone. If 3I Atlas truly releases mini-probes tomorrow during perihelion, these spacecraft could detect unexpected anomalies in the solar wind or observe divergent trajectories that don't follow pure cometary dynamics. What happens in the next 24 hours could redefine our understanding of interstellar visitors or confirm we're alone watching a perfectly natural comet that just happened to choose the most cinematic timing possible for its closest solar approach. Tomorrow, while 3I Atlas completes its hidden gravitational dance behind the sun, we'll be blind to critical events happening 126 million miles away. If it's just a comet, we'll witness a rare natural spectacle when it reappears in November, shining more intensely as its activity reaches peak. Something more, as Loeb speculates, the coming weeks will reveal anomalies that no cometary physics can explain. Impossible trajectories, non-gravitational accelerations, perhaps even communication signals that challenge all our assumptions about being alone in the cosmos. The beauty of science is that we don't need to believe any hypothesis now. Just observe, measure, and let the evidence speak. But while we wait, it's worth remembering that the universe has surprised us before, with Oumuamua and its bizarre cigar shape, with Borisov and its alien composition, and maybe, just maybe, 3I Atlas is about to surprise us again in ways we can't yet imagine. If this mystery hooked you until now, hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter of this journey. The universe is full of unanswered questions, and here we go after all of them.